fix, So whenever you find the defects, so you will cross check that in all the environments, whether it is reproducible or not. And then, so you will go to the tool and you will click on create button and fill all the form. That's it. So in that, main thing is you have to take care of which project. So what is the component, and the summary is a very, very important. And then you have to give description, a very, very crucial step. So reproducible steps you have to write from the beginning till the end. Okay, environment URL also you have to provide, which browser you are testing, what is the flow, the sequential flow, step by step. You have to write. If they follow, they should also reproducible. So same issue, they should also see the issue. So when they read your steps and when they execute those steps, and it should be reproducible. So that's, you have to be very, very careful while writing the steps. If one step misses also, they will say, I could not reproduce, I could not understand. They will send back to you again. So turnaround time will increase more. So that's why you have to write a step by step properly, how you did. Sometimes you will do more than one times also for a few steps. That same you manually what you are doing, tell there exactly what you are doing. So that clear indication, clear steps is a very crucial to fix it very quickly, or you show them, or you record a video and attach to that bug. So many things you have to do. Okay, so that's a very, very crucial. That is your responsibility as a tester, because you are testing. You should show them. You should tell them how you are following, what data you are giving. Sometimes data also matters. Test data is crucial. So all this test data, what data you are getting, you have to tell very clearly. Okay, so that's one thing. And once you submitted proper screenshots and your expected result, actual result. Yesterday we have seen in the test case, expected result, actual result, mandatory in the reproducible steps, along with the steps. So you have to write what you are expecting, what is application behavior. Application behavior is the actual result. Anybody having doubt on this expected result and actual result?
No, sir.
Are we good? What you need to write an actual result, what you need to write an expected result.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Only 2 people are there in the class. Good. So there are some few definitions we should understand. So what is a defect? A defect is nothing but a mistake in the code, or a flaw or imperfection of your software, which is not working as intended. So that is the defect means. It's not matching your expected result or customer expectation, and application is behaving strangely. Application behavior is not what customer is expecting. So that's the defect. So there are different type of defects. So usability defects will be there. Usability defects means it won't harm anyone. Just look and feel only. But look and feel also good, right? You have to take care of that. So a defect that causes slow response time when running reports. This is also not going to harm the user unless these reports are used very critical place, and so page is loading slowly, but it's okay, but it is loading, right? So you can, so this also not very serious problem. Usability is not a serious problem. A defect that causes slow response is not a serious problem. Suppose a defect that causes a raw sewage to be dumped into the ocean. So this will harm the user, right? So it will create the pollution, and it same way, any functional bug, functionality is broken, functionality is not working, that is going to be very, very crucial. So you have to take care of all the links, all the functionalities, and all the checkboxes, ready what is properly checking or not. When you're moving pages, the previous data is retaining or not. The previous selections, when in the edit mode, the previous selections are retaining or not. When the view mode, all the data properly showing or not, in the respective labels data properly showing or not, what you entered in the create time. So this is a very, very keen observation is very important here. What you have given data while creation time. In the view time, what is the data is there for that field? This is the where more issues you will get here. So you will enter some data in the creation time, but in the view time or edit time, the values will change. That's a bug, right? So this is the kind of key observation only will help you there. So, and this kind of problems you have to report and so inform the development team. And also each link in the web pages, whether it is working or not, you see that. Make sure they are not throwing 404 error page, 500 server errors or any kind of errors. It should not throw. So that is a very important. So a regression defect that causes the desktop window to display in green. Okay, this is the kind of just examples I'm giving. Any regression issues, before it was working, now it is not working. That's a regression bug. So how can you say it is a regression bug? Before, when you test first time, it was working. Now the developer fixed something and he introduced a bug in the working area. That is called regression bug. So this kind of regression issues, you need to file it very clear.
Sir,
Yeah,
usability defect means UI.
right. All the usability test cases I told, right?
Yes, sir.
Alignment, so coloring, spelling mistakes, so tabs, so scrollers, so these are all the usability test cases.
Sir, can you give example for a second one, sir? Second defect.
What is this? What is this? Are you reading this? Can you read this? What is mean by this?
A defect that causes a slow response time when running the reports.
What is mean by that? Can you
That
tell
means
me?
when we are navigating to other pages, it is buffering.
Is there anywhere navigating to the?
No, sir.
But what is mean? Just tell me what is slow response means. What is meaning of that?
When we perform any action, is responding slowly.
Which one is responding slowly?
For suppose if we click on next button,
Then what will happen?
it is navigating to other pages slowly. It is taking some time to load.
But that is the meaning, right? That is also. Or in the so you have it. So search, you selected multiple options. You clicked on search, and it is slowing. It is loading for you slowly. Or so you are retrieving a reports. Like you take a healthcare domain, a patient reports you want to retrieve by giving a patient ID or something, and it is loading slowly. It will load, but slowly it is loaded. That means there is a performance issue there.
Okay.
That's what the slow response means. Page is loading slowly for you. That's it. Or Data is retrieving slowly for you. That's the meaning of that. That what is
Will
that?
load, but it takes time.
No, that's what. Slow response means that one only. It should load. Google, if you search quickly, you will get the data, right?
Yes, sir.
If it is slow response means it is not getting on that fast. That's the meaning of that. So what is latent defect? So latent defect means a defect which is there in the system for a long time, but you didn't find it, but discovered now only. It was there from a long time. After so many releases after you found now. That is called latent defect. So a defect which has been there for a long time should have been detected earlier but found now. That is called a latent defect. So the reasons for this latent defect is maybe the test data is not suitable for this scenario. You didn't give a proper test data and conditions are not met in your testing. So that scenario hasn't come when you're testing. So that all these reasons causes this latent defect. Okay. So the defect is likely to present in various versions of the software. That means various releases, various builds it is there, but you didn't find it. So for example, February has 28 days. The system could not have considered a leap year, which results in a latent defect. Generally, so 28 days in the February, but in the leap year it will change, right? How many days in the leap year in February?
29.
29
days.
29 days. They didn't consider that. So that's a bug or not?
Yes.
When you select the latent leap year only, then you can find it out, especially if you go and see that.
Yes, sir.
When the leap year comes only, you will find that bug, right? It will be, for example, leap year is not there now. And when the next leap year comes, that time you will find, and that February comes, you will recognize that. Until that, you won't consider those things, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is the kind of things, so will be called latent defects. Are you clear?
Yes.
Yes,
This
sir.
latent defects that not cause the damage immediately, but wait for particular event to be occurred in the application. That kind of scenario situation comes only, this latent defect will emerge. Otherwise, it will be in the sleep mode only. So it won't cause the damage immediately. On that trigger events, if the event is triggered, that kind of situation and scenario triggered, then only this bug will be appeared for the people. Otherwise you, until unless you are considering all these issues and you are very keen on the issues, and if you take care of that, then you can find immediately. Otherwise, it will be there such kind of defects for a long time in the system. That's a latent defect. Masked defect. If you know what is masked, anybody knows what is mask?
Hiding. Something hidden. Yeah.
Hiding, right?
Hiding.
Same here also. One defect hides the other defect. So that means a blocker bug is there. You are not able to enter into the next page. Next page also you have a bug. First, if you clear the primary bug, then you can go to next page. If main page issue is there, you cannot find the next page. So that's the masked defect. So one defect hides the other defect, which is not detected at a given point of time. So it means there is an existing defect that is not caused for reproducing another defect. So one defect is there. Because of this bug, you are not able to reproduce the other bug because you cannot go there. That is the reason this is called masked defect. So masked defect hides the other defects in the application. That is called masked defect. For example, these are the examples. You can create such defects in your application, whatever the project you are putting in that project, you have to create this kind of problems. So create and keep it ready for the interview. So don't blindly go, and all these points you make a note, and one of the scenario you create, they will ask, tell me the scenarios. You have to be ready based on your project. See, but you can create impromptu. That kind of, attitude it has to come. So they are not coming and seeing, you assume the scenario, you apply to your project, which project you are keeping. You should not tell this one for your project, but same kind of scenario you can create in your project. So there is a link to add employee in the system. On clicking this link, you can also add a task for the employee. So that means employee, once you add, then you can add a task for this guy. Let's assume both the functionalities have bugs, like adding employee has a bug, adding a task to employee has a bug. Both functionalities has bugs. The first bug, add employee, goes unnoticed because of this bug in the add task is masked. So this bug is add employee bug is masking the add task bug. So that is called masked defect, we call that. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Clear, sir.
So defect leakage. So this also several times asked in the interviews. So the defects which are unable to find during your system testing or UAT testing, but they found in the production by the customer. See, leakage. Leakage means moving forward, right? Somewhere broken, but you are not able to find it out in your system testing or in your UAT testing, but found in the production environment by the customer. That is called defect leakage. A defect which were not able to find it during system testing by the testing team or UAT testing by business people, but found in the production by the customers. That is called defect leakage. How you can calculate this defect leakage? Number of defects slipped divided by number of defects received total. How many defects you found, minus number of defects withdrawn, that means invalid defects, multiply by 100. If you do, you will get a defect leakage percentage. See here example. In production, customer raises 21 issues. That means these 21 you missed them in your testing. You didn't find them. During your test, you found 267 issues were reported, but there was 17 invalid defects in this out of 267. So what is invalid defects means? Wrong test, mistaken by tester, misunderstood by the tester, you misunderstood the requirements, error in the test environments. All this causes the invalid defects. You are not able to reproduce. You raised it, but you are not able to reproduce again and again. So or you misunderstood the requirement. Requirement is different, but your understanding is different. That misunderstanding the requirements and all that considered as a invalid defects. So then the defect leakage ratio will be, say, number of defects slipped means 21, right? 21. So divided by total number of defects received means 267 minus withdrawn means 17 are invalid. So if you remove that, so 17 means 250, right? 21 by 250 multiplied by 100 means 84% is the defect leakage. So that's how you can calculate. This is the interview, not interview question. There's ISTQB exam related questions. These are all. You will give a question like this, and they will ask calculate the defect leakage. So next, what is defect density? So defect density is nothing but number of defects found in a particular module or particular component in a particular release. Okay, so number of defects found in a particular module during a specific period of time. So one release or a particular release. Okay, so how many defects you found? So that's so you, based on this defect density, people will decide whether to release this feature or not. So how you will count a defect density is 1000 lines of code. How many defects are there? So the scale LOC is a measurement. So defect count will be, so okay, 1000 lines, how many bugs are there? They will calculate like that. So defect count by total size of the release. Release means, okay, how many lines of code written for that particular release. So that will be divided and given to you this defect density. So what is a defect age? So defect age is nothing but the time gap between the date of detection and the date of closure of a defect is termed as a defect age. So what is a defect age means? The time gap between the date of detection of the bug and the closure of the bug. What is the gap, the time gap? That is called defect age. So what is showstopper bug or a blocker bug? A defect that doesn't permit testing to continue further. So it's a blocking you. It's a showstopper. That means show means what? A testing activity. It is stopping. That's a showstopper means. Showstopper bug or blocker bug we call them. So who can report the defects? Anyone in the team, not only tester. Even developer also can report, business people also can report, whatnot. Anybody in the team, technical support team, anybody can report the defects. This is all okay. So this is important. Severity, priority. So what is severity and priority? The severity of a defect is how severe, how much functionality is affected. That is called severity. How much damage happening to the business, how much damage to the company's reputation. So what is the loss of life? How much financial loss? That's a severity. So you can simply say a defect which causes the most damage to the application or loss to the business, and or how much functionality is broken, affected due to this bug. That's how you will give a severity. So basically severity will give high severity, medium and low severity. High means you must fix the bug importantly. So then there is a priority. Priority means how quickly a bug should be fixed. See that meaning itself telling priority. So even severity also you can remember easily, right? If some accident happened, how severe you will ask that, right? So a person met an accident, you will ask how severe it is. How badly impacted. So that's the meaning of the severity, right? And priority means, so based on the severity, you will fix the bug. You will give a priority for that. So here the defect, basically the defect, how much damage it is doing for the business or for the application. Then based on that, they will change the priority and severity levels. So if for example, release is there next week, and today your environment is not working, that's a blocker. The QA is not able to test. So that's a blocker bug. And they will mark it as a blocker bug or showstopper bug. And high priority you have to give. So high priority they are going to give for this. First, that has to be resolved. Then only they can continue their testing. So that's why priority means how quickly a bug should be fixed. So and then deploy to live servers. So live servers is nothing but deploy to environments. You fix it and deploy to environment. So when a defect is of high severity, most likely it will be high priority. So that's a low severity defect will normally have a low priority. So it is always recommended to give both severity and priority, and you just provide the what is the severity, what is the priority, and there is a fields in the defect report, and you will give this severity and priority. Will select. If later they will take care of, if it is not that much important, they will move the priority and severity. Development will so take care. So, and development manager will take a decision. This is important in this release or not. If it is a functional, mandatorily they have to fix it. Functional issues. So high severity, high priority bug means when major path through the application is broken. For example, on e-commerce website, every customers get error message on the placing an order. So they are not able to place the order. Then product page throws 500 internal server error. Then this is the high priority and high severity bug, because the major business is booking the product, right? Placing orders. If that is itself not working, then it's a big damage, right? So that's why you have to give high priority, high severity, such kind of bugs. So this is just a sample I'm giving. You see in your project, whatever the project you are keeping in your resume, you have to create all this kind of scenarios, which is most important. That bug, you keep it ready in your mind when you're going for interviews. So that's a very, very important. High severity, low priority bug. High severity, low priority bug. So this happens when a bug causes major problems. This happens when the bug causes major problems. But it mainly happens in very rare conditions or situations. Then you give high severity, low priority bug. Very rare cases you will get this, but functionality is broken. The major problems are there, but very rare conditions you will see this issue. So like customers who use very old browsers cannot continue with their purchases of the product. And you upgrade and you can use it, right? There is no necessity of, blocking you. There is a workaround for that. So that is the low priority you can give. Okay, there is a always alternative workaround for this. So that time you will give low priority and high severity, because high severity means that is broken. That's why you're giving high severity. Low priority means you can, because there is a workaround for that issue. You're not blocking completely. That's the main thing. So high priority, low severity bug. These are all usability issues. Usability issues, that too, in the front page, logo is not displaying, or logo, in the logo there is a spelling mistakes. Such kind of scenarios, you will give high priority and low severity. Low severity, why? It's not functionality, usability issue, this one. But that usability issue is in the front page and it is company name wrong, and also logo is not displaying. These are all high priority, right? In the front page, logo is not displaying means that's a bigger issue. That's why immediately they have to fix it. Even though that is not a functional issue, but look and feel and to make it more professional, you should fix them. Low priority, low severity bug. Low priority, low severity bug means very minimal. This doesn't used by many people, and last pages, nobody uses this. So it doesn't cause any issue or any damage, no functional, nothing. Then you can say low priority, low severity. Last, there is a small, maybe some alignment issue, a small one. It's not, nobody sees that also. Such cases you will use low priority, low severity bugs. Okay. Any questions? That's all about severity priority. This is one of the very important interview question. See what is the difference between severity priority and traceability matrix? What is the test case? What is the test plan? And test plan and test strategy differences, test plan contents. This is the very, very important interview questions. So why do you need to prepare the test cases? How do you know how much test coverage is done? And what are the documents you will submit further after completing the testing? So these are all important points. And then bug life cycle. So Jira we have seen. Let me show you bug life cycle. This is the bug life cycle. So bug life cycle is nothing but, so when you report a defect first time, it will be in open state. Then bug triage meeting will happen. They will validate whether this bug is valid or not, whether this bug is reproducible or not. They will check. If it is a invalid, it's not reproducible. When you are testing, it was reproducible. But when you are showing to the developer, it is working as expected. Then they will make that bug as so invalid or duplicate. If it is duplicate means somebody already filed. Again, you reported. That's a communication gap between you and your team members. So you have to always, before reporting a defect, you just watch the previous list. Then you can avoid this duplicate bugs. Then you will close that bug. If the bug is valid, you will assign to development team. It will go to development team immediately. Then he will start working on that. So when he started working, he will change the status from open to in progress. The status is open, then in progress. In progress means it is in working state. Once he fixed it, he will change the status to fixed. Okay, fixed or resolved, he will change. Fixed or resolved will be there. So you take all the fixed bugs. Once he changes the fixed and deploy to the environment, then it will come to your plate. And they will change the assignee to your name. Who reported the defect, he will change to that person. Then that fixed bug, you will retest it. You will retest it. So in the retesting, if it is a passed, you will close that bug. If it is not passed and it failed, and you will reopen that defect and assign to the same developer. So this is called a bug life cycle. So when the bug open time till closing, what are all the statuses it undergoes? That is called bug life cycle. So this is also widely asked interview question. Any doubts on this? The very standard questions, and so Agile process one they will ask mostly. In the Agile process, whatever we discussed, every meeting, every word, story points, Agile velocity, and what is user story, what is a backlog refinement meeting, and go and read that each and every word so that it will help you. Okay. Any questions on that?
Sir,
Hmm.
who will give the priorities for the bugs?
Everything tester. You should know that bug how much damage is causing. You give your priority. Later development will decide and they will change later. You don't need to worry about that, what they changed. But you in your point of view, you give your severity and priority. Okay. Yeah. So that's it. These are all small, that's okay. We don't need to bother about that. So I want to discuss one more. Which one is you will prefer waterfall model and agile methodology. So let me show. This is the one of the very important TLC models. Okay. See, waterfall, so the difference between waterfall and agile methodology. Even in the FAQs also I covered very nicely, but you can see the key differences. We'll go through one by one, okay? So what is waterfall model? What is agile methodology? So you should be aware of this. Waterfall model is basically it's a classical model and linear model, linear software development methodology. And agile is concurrently the testing and development activities will go in hand. That's a agile, that's a waterfall. Waterfall is, so each phase must be completed to start the next phase. Until unless first phase is not done, you cannot jump onto the second phase. That's a waterfall model. That's why we call that linear model. Line by line, step by step, you want to connect a particular dots. First, you need to draw to the second step. If it is that line draw is completed, then you can start from second line to next one. That's why it is a linear model. So linear model means each phase has to be completed to start the next phase. That's waterfall. And it's a lengthy process, okay? So this will be used for the long releases. And there is no hurry, and the release will be 2 years, 3 years. All products-based companies, they will follow this waterfall model. Agile methodology is something very important, and the requirement change, even middle comes also, you have to accept that. And so you will work in hand with the development and testing activities. There is no dependency on the phases. That's a agile process. So are you clear on this waterfall and agile process? Let's go and discuss one by one. Waterfall methodology is a model or a methodology in which each stage of the product's life cycle occurs sequentially. Just now we told linearly or sequentially, one after the other. So the progress of the project flows progressively downwards through phases, mimicking a waterfall. Waterfall means top to bottom, it will flow down, right? The same here also. The first phase, requirements gathering, analysis, design, coding, testing, release, deployments, all this sequentially it should happen. You cannot jump onto other ones. So that's the waterfall model. So agile methodologies, so basically proper sequential, linear and interactive approach, iterative and rapid development activities. Parallelly it will happen also. So basically it's more flexible agile methodology, and also concurrently the testing and development activities will be conducted. And anytime you have to accept the requirements change in the agile process, and then you will test it. So you will deliver a minimum viable product. MVP means a minimum viable product is delivered at the end of the each sprint. So you will wait within weeks you will get your feature ready. So that's the agile methodology. So waterfall methodology divides the software development life cycle into different phases. It comprises of a single cycle and single release. There is no multiple releases, multiple cycles. So single cycle and single release will be there. So all the phases must be completed, then you will release it. Otherwise, keep on postponing. So like all these products are there, right? The products, they will follow this waterfall methodology. Agile methodology divides the software development life into sprints, right? So based on the feature, they will divide into sprints. So it comprises of repetitive number of iterations and several releases will happen. So that's the Agile methodology. So waterfall methodology can be said to be very structured and rigid in terms of its model. So Agile methodology is extremely flexible. So how many days you want and which feature has to go, and all this will be so waterfall methodology. So in waterfall methodology, the distance between a customer and the developer is too long, and the customer doesn't know what is happening. So what type of thing is happening? He doesn't know. And in the Agile methodology, the business people and developers, so daily communications will be there, and so close communication between the business people and developers, and basically Agile Scrum team. That's one thing. So in the waterfall methodology, detecting problems within it takes a lot of time, high project schedule risk. So because the development completion after only testing will start. Until otherwise you won't start your activities. That's a problem. But Agile methodology, it's not like that. It's so you will discover even immediately in the requirement self, you will participate and you will be there and you will know what is happening. Each requirement, how to test, also you'll get a better idea. So low project schedule risk, because every day they are monitoring in the meeting. So everybody's work they will monitor. So that's the one thing. So waterfall methodology's ability to quickly respond to changes is less. So any changes happen, so there is no chances of change request is accepted in the middle. Beyond the analysis phase, no requirements change accepted at all. But in the Agile methodology, anytime you have to accept the requirement change. So in waterfall methodology, testing phase occurs after the development phase is completed. In Agile methodology, testing is usually carried out in parallel with the development activities. Okay, so that's what it happens parallelly. So you won't bother about the development. You will do your activities, your requirements understanding, creating the test cases, reviewing the test cases. These are all common. Anywhere you go, these are common. Once the user story is ready and development team started developing, and you have to start your test case design. That's one of the common responsibility. Every tester is going to have that. For this, you don't need any experience also. These points you can easily mention that in the interviews also. What is your roles and responsibilities means. Yeah, so that's all. Few of them you just go through this. At least 5 points are keep in mind, very high level, and why you need to prefer. You can tell that. Advantages, why you follow Agile, people are following Agile, you tell that. So one thing is, so you can see the minimum viable product within weeks rather than months. That's one thing, you can tell that. And a working product, basically. You can say a minimum viable product, or that means working software. You can release to the market within weeks rather than months. So anytime the requirements change should be accepted in the Agile, but waterfall, you cannot so make changes to the requirements. And that's the long term and this is a very short term. And every day the business people you will interact with the business people so that, and the discussions will go and there is a very less risk. But there, so there's a lot of risk and you don't know, the customer is not going to interact. So till the product releases. So these are all, you tell that advantages, disadvantages, that really helps you. So here also I have given some of them. So high level, you can just note down which one is more comfortable, you take them. Okay. That's all about the total manual testing. So, and I want to tell few more points. What are the different testing types? There are different testing like functional testing, non-functional testing, security testing, right? In the functional testing, again, you have manual testing, automation testing. So non-functional testing means all performance based. So that is not non-functional. It's a meaning itself telling. That means it's not functional. So it is all how quickly the records are loading, how quickly records you are retrieving, how quickly you can insert the data into the application. So this is all the number of transactions you're finishing per minute. That's a non-functional testing. Functionality means, okay, whether this link is working or not, whether this functionality is working or not, login able to, you are able to log in or not, you are able to log out, you are able to send a mail. These are all functionality. You are able to create an account or not, you are able to reset the password or not. When you create account, the mail is going to the respective mail ID or not. So this is all functionality use cases. Functional, non-functional, that's the main difference. So in the non-functional, you will do load testing, stress testing. Load testing can be done by tools, not manually. Tools you will use. What are the different tools you will use? There are load runner, JMeter is there. So JMeter, you can use a JMeter to perform the load testing. In the functional testing, again, API testing will come. That's a functionality will test on the business logic area. You don't need a UI. Without UI, you will test the API testing. That is also do the same, create a account, create anything you want to create or edit, same record you want to edit and view that record with a get method. We have seen all these things, and delete the account or delete the record from the server. So this is CRUD operations, we call this CRUD. See, CRUD means what is that? Create, read, update, delete. CRUD operations, any application you go, you will do CRUD operations. Are you all clear on the CRUD operations means? Create, read, update, delete. So you haven't done till now the CRUD operations?
I have listening before class. You have
Not that you haven't done create any of your social websites or anywhere you haven't done in your Gmail, you haven't done?
We have done.
Yeah, we have done, sir.
How can you say, Arshini? No, I know. Without creating account, you are logging into your Gmail. Without creating, you are logging into your Facebook.
No, sir, I have done, sir.
That is a create only, right?
Yes.
Then you are viewing your no account. And so that means you are able to access with that account. That's a viewing only. All your data you can see after login. Your profile, my account will be there. That's a create and view. Update anything you want to update, your first name, last name, or some mobile number, anything, that's update. Your
Yeah.
account you're updating, and you don't want this account. You will delete that. That's a CRUD operations. Everywhere you are already done, but you people are saying only Vandana and Shupri is telling we did. So you have to mimic your scenarios, what you're doing. You're doing already in your daily, your social websites, everywhere. So that CRUD operations means any application that CRUD operations will be there. Retrieving the data is a get call. Creating a data, creating an account, that is a post call. Updating the data, anything is called put call. Deleting the data record is
Delete call.
That's it. Any application you go, these will be there. So this API testing also you will do comes under functional testing. Automation, anyhow, automation UI is there, automation API is there. Both are there. Okay. So that kind of So things we are doing, and security testing is entirely different. There is a separate team will be there. So now I think you are aware of CyberArk. Security testing team will be there separately. And they will perform the security test. So they will basically, mainly hackers will be there. Hackers, how they will try to attack applications. These guys will, testing environments will do the attacks. All security loopholes they will try to test, and they will report the issues. That's the security testing. So what are the three types of testing types? Functional testing,
Non-functional, security
Security.
function.
security.
Security.
Okay. So that's all about okay. So that's the three different type of testings. All some companies in US I see, generally in India you have a performance team separately, security testing team separately, and functional testing. So manual and automation mandatorily you have to do. There is no deviation there. If you are taking as a automation tester, you have to do manual testing first. No. So permission for you have to do only automation. No, you have to do first manual testing, at least one round. Then only you can understand the functional flow. Without understanding the application, you cannot automate that. Not possible at all to automate without knowing functionality. First, you should understand the steps, what you are doing in each phase, and what action you have to perform in Selenium. You should know that very clearly. So first, you should understand your test case requirements. Based on the manual test cases only will automate. That manual test cases is not clear, and you cannot do your effective. What you want to do, if you don't know, what you will automate? First, you should know, okay, application behavior, this is the one. You have to assertions add in each page. So on each page, all the elements are displaying or not, you have to check. Functionality is working or not, you have to check. And data is retrieval is happening or not, you have to check. So many. So assertions you have to do here. Assertions is nothing but a validations. What you will validate, that all things you have to, we already seen, right, in the every page. Any element or any page title, you have to assert that. Then how do you know that page is displayed? Right? That's why you need all these things. Okay. And That's all about manual testing. Next week we'll meet on SQL. So don't miss. So SQL also, I'm just giving a Vandana requested many times. That's why I'm just, because in the US you must need this SQL, Appium, all entire stack we need. Mostly we need our stack is manual testing. Selenium is mandatory. Core Java with the Selenium. Then API testing mandatory. If it is not there in your list, so that's not going to work out. API testing is not there and you won't get jobs easy. That's a mandatory nowadays for that skill set must be added in your resume. API testing in Postman, API testing with rest assured, you should be very, very clear. That's an easy task. 1 week if you sit, you can finish that. Even our go to our YouTube channel, listen all the videos. You can do that. So dead easy topic. And I don't know, many people even didn't try till now also. I see many people. That's a so easy thing and you should not know.